What's up, everybody? I'm Steve and welcome to Jerome's Chrome. Now that I got the engine out of this 1978 Corvette, it's time to finally get in there and start cleaning up this engine bay. But for this episode, I don't mean cleaning it up with degreaser and a pressure washer. It's too cold for that anyway. What I mean is taking out any parts like cruise control, evap stuff, or any vacuum related stuff that I could possibly eliminate. And I also want to remove stuff that's going to be replaced for good, like my old rusty radiator support and my current transmission cooling system setup. Those are just a few examples, and I'm sure there'll be a lot more once I dig in. I'm still learning as I go, but the best way for me to learn is to do. So let's get to work. Before I do any wrenching, the first thing I'm going to do is just a quick walk around the engine bay and hit literally every bolt I see with some PB Blast. I also know to get the rad support out of there, there's like 3 or 4 bolts that I need to access through the wheel well. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the wheel wells off and hit those with the PB Blast too. Honestly, I think for now on, as I'm working on this car, I'm just going to keep a can of PB Blast out at all times, and every time I run across a nut or bolt, I'm just going to blast it for future Steve. The first thing I'm going to remove is something that's been highly requested in the comments over the last few months, and that's this transmission cooler. Normally, C3 Corvettes don't have a transmission cooler. The lines just go into the radiator, and that's how that whole situation works. But long story short, this car's been through some stuff. But anyway, let's finally do something. Shouldn't be a hard thing to uninstall. It's just on there with some zip ties. Just unscrew these rubber lines off this thing, and hopefully they just pop off pretty easy. Nope. Here's what we're going to do with that. We're just going to cut them. And we're free. It's officially my car now. Hopefully, these will just slide on out of here with no troubles. Nope. They're connected somehow. Gotta get under there. Hey, I don't know if you can see me down here. I'm just down here walling around in transmission fluid and PB Blast trying to get a little bolt out of here to get these lines free. And we're back, and we're just gonna pretend that that bolt was really easy to get out. Okay, what's hung? What is it? Another zip tie. At least it was zip tied on there really well. All right, third try. Transmission lines free. The next thing I'm going to do is remove this radiator support because the bottom is rusty. I see absolutely no reason why I would want to undo those bolts and try to wiggle this thing out as a unit. So I'm just going to put some relief cuts in there with the old Makita. Okay, we'll just start here in this corner. Like butter. Hey, I only went through one blade. I must be gaining experience in automotive things. Or I got lucky. Boom. That was pretty easy. Ew. Gross. All right, I got the top cut off. Got the bottom cut off. I got this just dangling here free. So all I really have to do is remove a bolt there, one there, and then one down there in the bottom. And I should be able to just peel these on off there. No big deal. And I don't think I'm going to be able to replace the core support today because I'm going to have to order these brackets right here because they are toast. All right, let's get in there and see how this goes. That'd be cool if they just come out. Oh, baby. You know, I'm going to get crazy. Sweet. Yes. No way. Awesome. That's a freaking miracle. I mean, look at this bolt head. It is broken off. Rough. I cannot believe that came out so easy. Every once in a while, get lucky. They're really not kind of as bad as I thought, to be honest with you. The PB Blast made a big difference. That just fell right out. Oh my God, there's something attached to that. Yeah, right. That's a ground? Ha 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 ha. I don't think so. I'm no car wiring expert, but I'm just willing to bet that this ground is not currently grounding. Here it is in all its glory. Gone. Put it in here in the pile with the rest of the parts. Now that that's out of the way, while I'm in there, might as well address this headlight situation. If this car was anything close to original or not as crusty as it is, I might consider retaining the vacuum headlight system. But almost everything up here is complete junk, and I'm going to have to replace everything as it is. And I think since I'm going to be doing a lot of replacing in there, I'm just going to replace it with an electric system. So the next thing I'm going to do is pull out these little cam things and all the vacuum lines and systems under there, and all the vacuum lines, trace them back to where they go, and pull out everything that has to do with the vacuum headlight system and prepare it for a future electric install. So I guess I'm just going to get in here and yank, pull, and cut. All these lines are very old and brittle. Very. Cut. Cut. Uh-oh. Looks like card time's over for today. Come on, boy, go back to sleep. Come on. Come on. Go back to sleep. Yanking and pulling. Yanking and pulling. Get out here. Get out here. Get out here. Yeah. Set that there for a second. See if that boy goes back to sleep. I got about 20 more seconds of time. If not, what's that go to? Yes. All right. All right. And we're chill. Well, what just happened? Guess I'll go ahead and take this, finish taking the radiator support rod off here now and get that cleaned up. There's that. Radiator support final piece with the rod. I believe that rod is not going to be able to be reused. It looks to be in compromised condition. All right, got all the vacuum lines cleaned up out of there, and that looks a whole lot better. Now I just got to take out these canisters, and underneath, right here, this thing's got to come out, and I think there's another one on the other side that's got to come out. Oh, no, they're both right here. Boy, these are brittle. I'm surprised they don't crack or break in half, to be honest with you. But let's get them out of here. More zip ties. Not exactly sure what's up with this situation and what I'm going to do about it at the moment. So I'm just going to cut that off right there and just kind of leave that dangling and cut that there, and we'll get it figured out later. I just want to let everybody know that due to the comments, I went ahead and I got the books. Okay? I have the manuals now. So I've been reading through them a little bit, and there's some really good information in there. And I might consult these for now on, moving forward. Just to let you know. Well, the boy's still sleeping, so I'm going to keep wrenching. So right now, I'm going to pull these things out. I'm not sure what they're called. I'm going to make up a name for the time being and call them the Headlight Vacuum Control Modulator. I'll put the real name on the screen. That could be it. But anyway, I'm going to pop those out, and I'll let you know how that went. There's one. Oop, I broke it. 2 down. All right, how do we get these things out? I believe I'm going to have to get underneath to access this. Yep, for sure. So my situation is my son is still sleeping and I got the baby monitor and I don't want to get on the floor and get all super dirty and greasy because I might have to pop up at any minute and go in there and grab him. So I'm just going to do some little piddly stuff around here that I can easily do real quick while he's still asleep. I'm still not sure what I want to do about the air conditioning stuff because, to be honest with you, I know absolutely nothing about air conditioning. Nothing. So I'm going to get in those manuals and do a little research before I start pulling this stuff out of here. But I do know that I can just easily right now uninstall the fuel pressure regulator that I just put in like a month ago. I guess I can just put that there. That's nice. That's easy access. Yeah. Pop that off there, even though I didn't need to. And flathead. Well, there's that. I don't even think it ever had a drop of fuel ran through it. Let's think. Yeah, I think it ran for about 2 minutes while I was checking the lifters and junk. I just looked at the weather forecast and there is a bright future ahead. There is 40s coming up this weekend. And then by Tuesday of next week, it's going to be 53. And I'm taking the day off work and just going to do stuff to this car. I am so pumped. Don't tell anybody at work. All right, that's done. The baggies are piling up. Let's see, am I going to reuse this hose? Man, I really doubt it. I'm just going to pop it off there. Maybe. Come on. Let's just be easy. We don't need to get his tool. Flathead. I don't even know how to get this thing off here right now. You gotta go through the wheel well? You gotta go through the wheel well to get that thing off there. We'll tackle that in a little bit. What's next? I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do with the AC, but I do know that I can take this compressor out of here for now by just popping this one bolt out of the back. So I think I'll get this out of here next. Little PB blast. We're good on the monitor. Oh, that's gonna be tough. Ooh. It's hard to torque on it when it's moving. Give that another one of those. Maybe. Nah. Eh. Oh. Oh, that's questionable. That is questionable. Let's give it a shot. Yes. Man, sometimes these power tools really come in handy. I'll have to get some more of these. Just okay. Well, there she is. I don't know if this thing is junk or not, but I'm just going to go ahead and set it aside for now. We'll circle back around to air conditioning stuff later. So I've been standing here deliberating on what I should do with this AC hose since, I don't really know anything about AC and if I should keep it or if it's too old and nasty and I should just get rid of it. And I was kind of inspecting it and it kind of made the decision for me because there's a big fat gash right there that goes all the way through. And I think this is one big unit. I don't think that these come apart right here and here. So I guess what I'm going to do for now, since that just leads down into a deep, dark abyss into the fender, is just cut it off right here and just get this out of the way for now. I hope I don't regret this decision. Don't know what I'm doing. Just cutting expensive things. Wow, that is a really thick hose. I get some fresh blade for that one. Is it metal on the inside? That's really hard to cut with a razor knife. I don't think that's going to work. All right, I've made a little progress cleaning up the front and cleaning up this side of the engine bay tonight. And the boy is still napping. So I think I'm going to keep plugging away. Not sure yet what to do next. Maybe I should just crawl into the car and take those headlights out. Let's think. Well, now that AC stuff is out, I guess I might as well take out this one. It looks like I just have to disconnect it right here and then a couple of little bolts along the line and it should just pop right off if this cooperates. So I already hit this heavily with the PB blast the other day, but I'm going to get another shot of the PB and then see if this thing's going to cooperate with me. Getting pretty professional around here. I got actual line wrenches. Oh, hey, that went extremely well. Uh-oh. Looks like wrenching may be over for the night. Oh yeah, that sounds pretty serious. Gonna give it the 10 to 20 second rule. Got it. Huh. He went back to sleep again. No way. I am on borrowed time right now. This is an extended nap. Very, very rare extended nap. They're allowing me to get some work done out here on a Monday. Normally, not a day in which I can do stuff. Normally, I just got the weekend and then a little bit of time on Tuesday and a little bit of time on Thursday. But this nap is really working out for me. But I think it's about to be over. Uh-oh. Things just got serious. It's time to wrap it up for the night. I'll see you guys tomorrow on Tuesday. It's Tuesday now, and I'm picking up exactly where I left off. All right, back at it. It's 35 degrees out here, which honestly seems kind of warm in comparison to what it's been. So I'm not even wearing a coat. I have officially acclimated to it. I'm still ready for that 50-degree weather that's coming up, though. Don't get me wrong. Really? I gotta have 2 tools for this? That's dumb. I got one more of those right here. I wonder if that's coming through the wheel well too. Yeah. Don't tell me that I can't get a socket on that thing. Barely. A little zip tie action. It's one of those real professional zip ties though, like one of those factory ones. And AC line. Oh, not quite removed. Removed. I may not know anything about AC now, but something tells me I'm about to. I need to leave these 2 hoses because I need to flush the heater core. And as soon as it gets warm, I'm going to do that first before I even clean out the engine bay. So those are staying. I'm not 100% sure what I want to do with this AC box right now. Like it's cracked, well, not cracked, but there should be some sort of seal there that isn't there, and that goes pretty much all the way down. And I don't know if what's up with this situation here, if that's normal or not. It'd be nice to be able to get that out of the way and be able to, get back there and clean up and paint and stuff, but I'm not exactly sure what I'm dealing with here. So I don't know. I got to do a little more research before I start yanking this thing off. And I would love to hear your comments because between the time I get this video out and the next one, I'm going to be in here pressure washing and cleaning everything up. So I'll be using the comments and a little bit of research to kind of figure out what I want to do with that between this video and the next one. I am going to pop this coolant overflow tank off here though, because if I get that off, that might just give me the access I need to be able to get back there and do what I need to do if I'm not replacing this thing. Like I said, I don't know if I'm even replacing it or if I just can remove it, do some stuff, put it back. I don't know if it's worthless old junk that needs to be replaced or if it's salvageable because, yeah, I don't know. So what I'm going to do for today to finish up this side is just take this tank off, and that'll pretty much take care of just about everything on this side. So I'm going to get after it. I think it's under the wheel well to get it off. Yep, there's one. Man, it's like everything is a half 9/16 for the most part, and then all of a sudden you'll just run into this random 10 millimeter. Okay, there's one. So it looks like it's just 3 bolts in here. The one I took out right there, and then one there, and one there. I'm just guessing because they all look to be similar and in similar spots. So I'm going to yank those 2 out, and then hopefully this coolant tank comes out. All right, I think I'm free. Whoa. Dude. It's got some weird hand spasm. Jeez, that was okay. Anyway. There we go. Looks pretty nasty and all, but this thing ought to clean up and be reusable for sure. Restorable. I'm gonna change my mind on the restorable. There is some build up in here. Oops. Yeah. Let's see if I can, yeah. It's hard to see in there. But there is some of that thick rust buildup going on in there. That's inside there. That is also inside the engine. And that's why it's sitting right here. I still don't know what I'm doing with this engine, but I do know I am going to film a video where I break it down, pull it apart, and look it all over and see what we're dealing with. I'm not exactly sure when I'll do that video, but coming up soon. You can really see in there good now. Get way back in there. That's pretty awesome. I can at least access if I want to get that cleaned up and if it's still usable. And I can pretty much get to all the areas that I want to get to back in there if I do want to not remove this box. So either way, I'm good on the cleaning and detailing and painting, but I'm still not sure the condition of this AC and what I really should do with this box or not. So like I said, please comment. Okay, a dent has been made, but there's still more to go. I think next I'm going to go with the cruise control and the charcoal canister. You might be saying, why would you get rid of your cruise control? That's crazy. And the answer is simple. There's just a lot of stuff going on back there for something I literally never use. Call me weird if you want. I just never use cruise control. I don't know why. As far as the charcoal canister is concerned, same reason. Look at all of the lines, vacuum lines coming off that, and the amount of space it's taken up back there. It's just a big mess in there. And I just want to remove that, get rid of those vacuum lines, cap off the line that's going to the fuel tank, and then get a vented gas cap to take care of that problem. And like I said earlier, I might keep a lot of this stuff if it wasn't already broken, needing to be replaced, old, crusty, in a car that's so far from original. If I really want to get back there and prevent rust, I need to take that stuff out of there anyway. And I don't know, maybe I will put it back. Maybe I'll change my mind along the way and be like, man, I really am going to miss those C3 vacuum systems and the C3 vacuum system experience and put it back. So that's the cruise control thing right there. We'll call that the cruise control vacuum modulator also. But yeah, there's some plugs on there, there's some wires on there, there's some hoses on there, and I'm not exactly sure how to get it all out right now. So I'm just going to set up the camera and just start whittling away. Starting with the easy stuff and just unscrewing these two hoses, I guess you could call them, that are screwed into the front, back, windshield side of the unit. Just getting those out to kind of clear some space. Try to get a wrench in there. Also clear some space by pulling off some vacuum lines. There we go, a little electrical plug in the back, freeing me up. Bye. Look at all this. What really grinds my gears is when you barely have room to get one wrench in somewhere and then you got to get 2 in there. This is dumb, but I'm just thinking about that wonderful sense of accomplishment that I'm going to get as soon as I get this thing out of here to make it better. Take a breather. Don't throw stuff. You're calm, cool, and collected. Okay, all right. Cruise control uninstalled. There's that screwdriver. Craftsman. Well, that's still in great shape. In the toolbox. Anyway, how do I take off this charcoal canister? Wheel well? Yes! Yes. I'm pretty sure instead of having to get in there and do a bunch of crazy wrenching in tight spaces for that charcoal canister, I'm pretty sure it just comes off with 2 screws in the wheel well. Let's hope for the best. That would be super cool. 2 screws. If I could just take those out and this thing goes kerplunk, that would be amazing. Except they are extremely stripped out a lot. You know the drill by now. Yeah. Come on, Vice Grips. Yep. Yeah. Thank you. Uh-oh, I heard a clunk. Okay, I'm inside the engine bay now, which is kind of oddly kind of cool. I can't explain it. I'm a dork. Anyway, hopefully now, maybe. Oh, I'm gonna need my scissors, and I am currently in an engine bay. Let's see. Yes! Snip that. Let's get that out of there. Huh. Well, it's free. That's happening, except for there's no hole big enough for it to fit. Maybe I have to drop it out the bottom. Okay. I'm thinking maybe this thing needs to drop out the bottom. How do I get out of here now? I'm gonna pop out 2 bolts along here to get this little bottom panel to fall out. All right, got that splash guard thing out. It could use a little restoration anyway, so no big deal. I'll just put that in the pile and see if this thing falls out the bottom or if that was just a waste of time. Boom. There it is. C3 Corvette charcoal canister. Wow. Man, even if this thing isn't getting deleted, it definitely needed to be replaced. We'll put it in the pile as well. So I see that screw holding in this windshield washer fluid tank. And then I think there's another one. I can't even get the camera in there. Anyway, you can see the one to the left, and then all the way to the right of the screen, I think it's the other side, which I can't imagine getting to that. I'm going to take this front one out first and see what happens. I have no idea how anyone could get to that back screw. I guess you got to get underneath and go up from the bottom. I'm just gonna get this, I don't know, one step at a time. Let's take out the easy one. Instead of sitting around thinking about the hard one. Another random 10 millimeter. There's one. I guess I'm just gonna crawl under there, see if I can go up from the bottom, bring a couple different sized extensions, and let you know if I can get at that. Trying to get a camera on there and show it to you is really pointless. So I'll just let you know how it works out. It was a little bit of a battle, but not that bad. My hand is cramping. And there's just one more bolt up here at the neck of this thing, and it should be free. I'm gonna need to get back under there. Ah! Got it. So, the back one, very difficult to get to, but the good news is it has this little notch in there that you could just slide your extension down and hope for the best and finally get on it. And then small little turns, finally worked its way out. And then on the bottom, there is the little line for the juice to come to the windshield wipers. And then a little plug right here on the bottom. That was a real tight squeeze, but uninstalled. It is officially time for a break. I don't know if this windshield wiper motor works or not. I don't know how much it costs to replace it or anything at the moment. But I do know that I want to paint behind there. So I'm at least gonna pop this off for now, just so I can get access to paint. So I took the 3 nuts off the front. One there, one down in there, and one around here on this other side. And now I just gotta pop this off the windshield wiper mechanism, and I believe I should be free. We're loose. All right. That was easy. Now that we got that off of there, it's time to circle back around to these Headlight vacuum canister things. So I'm just gonna crawl underneath the front, take a look at that, and see what it takes to get those off there. So here's the mechanism I'm dealing with. Basically, I just gotta pop those springs off there. I gotta get those bolts, and then I gotta make sure I disconnect that piston looking thing, I don't know what to call it, from right there. Pretty rusty. This right here is extremely rusty. I don't even know. So let's check out the other side real quick. So what we were looking at was this. I already took the springs off this one, of course, but they were attached to here and then to this thing. As you can see, that thing does not look like a rusty nail. It's got these little grooves that the springs sit in nicely, so that way they don't slip off. Looks pretty good over here. But then once again, on this side, it looks like that. I'm probably gonna have to replace that piece right there. I don't think it's gonna, it doesn't have the grooves anymore, to say the least. It's pretty dang rusty in there. So I think I'm just gonna liberally hose that down with some PB Blast and let it soak and get back out here on Thursday and get those things knocked out. Well, it's Thursday and those headlight actuator bolts have had plenty of time to soak now. So I'm just gonna crawl under there and see if they'll cooperate with me. It wasn't hard to get that spring off, the old rusty nail part. There's rod number one. That needs to come out to be able to access the top of those 4 bolts on the actuator. Well, I don't know if it necessarily needs to, but it makes it a lot easier. No, light, don't die on me. I need you. Had to get out the safety glasses for this job. Too bad I can't see anything with these freaking safety glasses. Rod number 2. Come on. So much rust falling in my face on this project. Okay, now I just got to get that rod off there. And I have no idea how. So I got my 4 bolts and 2 support rods out, and now I'm just trying to get this thing out of here. And I think I got to go around to the other side, and there is like a cotter pin. Let's check it out. There that is. It's hard to tell on the camera, but this right here, it's a little cotter pin I got to try to pull out of there. Maybe? Is that? I think that's my situation. No way I can film this and try at the same time. I'll give it a shot. Yeah, no way. Nope. I'm gonna try to wiggle that thing out of there real quick. Bad news. This little cotter pin right here that I have to pull out in order to get this thing out of here is just fused into there. And I really have no idea what to do at this point to get this thing out of here. Let me think about it. Well, I'm 45 minutes into that headlight actuator and it's starting to annoy the living crap out of me. So I'm just going to move on to the other side and see how that one goes. Okay, I've been messing with this headlight situation for a while now. And in conclusion, it's really rusty. It's all just rusted together. It's one just rusted unit, unable to be removed in pieces because of its synergy of rusted togetherness. These little pins that hold this rod in there are just absolutely fused together. And you can unscrew this rod from that part right there, but it's also fused together. So there's just no way that this thing is coming out the correct way. I think the best move here is to just take off this entire headlight assembly and just give everything in there its own separate restoration. But I've pretty much spent my entire Thursday at this point messing with these things, and there's just no freaking way that I'm going to end this video with them still in this engine bay. So if they don't want to come out mechanically, I'm going to have to just take them out manually. It may be an irrational decision based on anger taking them out this way, but at this point, I don't care. They're coming out. For the record, I don't think it's cool to hack and destroy, but sometimes you just got to move forward. Goodbye, vacuum thingies. I'm sorry it had to be this way. I might not be able to teach you how to rebuild a quadrajet carburetor, but what I can do is let you know that if you've ever went out in the garage for a 30 to 60 minute job and it ended up taking you 4 hours and you still had to end up hacking it out with a Sawzall, you're not the only one. These things ate my soul. But we're moving on. In the pile. So yeah, that's what it looks like when you get the actuators out. Obviously still got some work to do in there before I paint, but it's open up enough now to be able to get in there and do a really good cleaning on there this weekend. Honestly though, besides the headlight situation, this week in engine bay cleanup went pretty well. There's still some small stuff left, but I got a lot of stuff out of here. So now I can start degreasing, pressure washing, and prepping for paint in the warm front that's coming up soon. And I have a much better understanding now of what it's going to take to get this car back on the road again. Next thing I gotta do is get this mess cleaned up, get these parts organized, get the wheels back on this car, and get it outside and ready for a heater core flush and an engine bay degreasing. As always, I would love to hear your comments on what you thought about the video, what you thought about what I did, and what do you think I should do in the future? Did I make any mistakes? Is there anything you would have done differently? Is there anything that I should know before I move forward? I really, really appreciate all your comments and advice and the likes and subscribes. It means so much to me. So thanks again, and I'll see you next week.